So I actually got to sit down and watch a movie for once.
Cool!
I know, like never happened.
You can tell me about it on today's episode of Watch It.
That's not going to be our theme song.
No, you're right. Here it is.
It's Nerd Time with Nix and Beardo.
I'm Nick with a K, she's Nick with a C. Yeah.
Yada yada.
Yada yada, let's get to it. I want to hear about this.
Anyway, I forget the title, I forget the actors. It was like one of those B movies.
Okay, well that's...
Yeah, so it was really interesting because Russia apparently didn't call off their space project. So then they go to the moon, and on the moon they meet an alien, and they bring the alien back to Earth. But on re-entry, something goes wrong, and they crash in the ocean, and they freeze. Right? So anyway.
That makes sense.
40 years later.
So what is this, Captain America?
No. 40 years later, this fishing boat goes out, and they're researching whales. And while they're researching the whales, they find a giant chunk of ice, and there's a beacon bleeping in it, and they're like, what's this? So of course they take it on board their ship, because why wouldn't you? And then they thaw it out, because why wouldn't you? And then in this chunk of ice, they find this dead body, and they examine it, because why wouldn't you? And then the alien comes. Yeah, and the alien comes, and it's kind of like The Thing, and it just like takes over the entire crew, and everybody dies, because that's how every movie ever goes. It's really kind of, I wanted to talk about that, because it annoys me so much that nobody ever lives in these horror movies. It's always the main character, and that's it. Everybody else dies. I hate that.
And there's usually tropes assigned with that. Like, usually, it'll be like a black guy or a black person that dies first.
Yeah.
Which bugs me.
This time, no. It was some unnamed crewmate. It was like a Star Trek trope. It was just some unnamed crewmate who died first. And then the others started dropping. There were no black people in this movie. There were no Asian people. It was just a purely white cast. There was a Russian lady. Of course, she was a spy and evil. So
yeah.
Of course, she died.
You just go over that.
Oh, God. Why are the Russians still... This is a 2015 movie. Why are the Russians still the bad guys? That sounds like from the 80s, right?
Well, it's either that or it's like North Korea or something.
I would take that over Russia.
And they've done that. Like, the remake of Red Dawn.
In
the original, it was Russians
Uh-huh.
coming to attack America.
Mm.
And in the remake, it was North Korea.
I'd like to see a movie where it's Americans attacking Americans, because that's rather legitimate right now.
Yeah, but that would be like... almost like Civil War or something. I can't...
That'd be fun, like a future Civil War. Now we're talking. And Donald Trump built the wall, and now they're killing each other inside the wall, and they can't get out because the wall's there. And Canada's like on the other side of the wall going, eh.
It's better than a movie, eh?
Is that how we talk?
According to Americans, we do.
Well, I've heard that, yeah.
And, well, if you watch, Bob and Doug McKenzie.
I was watching this documentary on Edmonton, on the sex trade in Edmonton. So I was like, there's a what in Edmonton?
Yeah.
But anyway, everyone they interviewed talked in that typical Canadian accent. I was like, are you kidding me? We don't talk like that. Stop doing that! No, it was horrible.
Oh, that's funny. I get a quick little story. I used to be part of this chat site when I was younger. Okay, it was a dating site. Where you could chat with people and that. And I was like the only Canadian in this group chat. You could do voice thing. And they're like, wait, what did you just say? I said it's about time. They're like, no, you said a boot. No, I didn't. About. You just said a boot.
I didn't say a boot.
There must be something wrong with their ears.
I think sometimes when we talk fast, we do pronounce it slightly different than they do. And for some reason, they hear a boot, but that's not what we're saying. It just, that's how their ear translates.
According to my wife, when I'm drunk, I start and I talk fast, I sound more like a newbie.
You never sound like a newbie to me, so.
Oh, yeah. Give me a chance.
Okay.
I sometimes I go into a newbie accent without even meaning to.
I'll never forget standing in line at the grocery store and there was these newbies talking to each other, and I'm just like, I know you're speaking English, but I cannot understand a word you're saying.
Yeah, so...
Anyway.
that's way off topic.
You had a
watch
movie
it.
you wanted to talk about too, didn't you?
Actually, a TV show
A TV show.
called Eureka.
Eureka.
The show has been off the air for a while now. They had like 4 seasons or something like that. Around there, because I know I saw a DVD and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta request that from the library. Was Eureka season 4.5. And it was a science fiction TV show. There's only about 13 episodes per season.
Okay.
But it's about this. I can get a little more comfortable here. This U.S. Marshal that after picking up his target, who turns out to be the spoilers. Spoiler alerts a little bit here, folks. So if you don't want to hear it, turn your volume down. If you do want to hear it, leave your volume where it is or turn it up. Your choice. He's going after his daughter because she ran away from home, and they get into an accident near this small place called Eureka. And what it is this town where pretty much everyone in the town, except for the U.S. Marshal, really, and his daughter, although his daughter ends up being quite smart, she just has to apply herself. They're the least smartest people in the town. It's the government, they scientists from all over the world, which is funny because they all speak perfect American English, except for there's an Australian guy. But where they can make things and to better mankind, and there is a weapons department too. And like, even one of my favorite things is there's a coffee shop in there called Cafe Diem.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
And I get a kick out of that every time I see it, because for those of you who don't know, Carpe Diem, seize the day.
Yeah.
Cafe Diem would be like...
Seize the coffee.
Yeah, seize the coffee. And it's like the only restaurant they have in town. But like you go in and you could say, I want a truffle salmon souffle with fried grasshoppers on the side, and the guy would bring that out to you. He has no menu. You go and you tell him what you want, he gets that. I would love to see them explain that.
Yeah.
But it's just it's a really good show. Like they'll have a season arc, but then each episode has its own little story.
So question: if it's done, if it's over, does it have a conclusion that makes sense?
I have no idea. I'm still on the second. I just finished the second season.
Because I hate that. I hate that when they just end on like a cliffhanger or whatever.
Well, yeah, like My Name is Earl.
Yeah.
They ended season 4. They didn't even get a chance to end it naturally.
Yeah. So let me know when you're done, and then if it does end well, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I so far I really like the show. Like, it's got humor, and the writing's pretty smart.
Yeah. Well, it better be.
Yeah. And like some of the characters, it's like, oh, I hate that guy, but he better not leave because he's a good, he's a good foil for the. There's one character that's a good foil for the sheriff.
Right.
And that. It's just a really well written show, and it's like I said, it's funny. The special effects aren't necessarily the greatest, but who cares? It's not always about the special effects.
No, and it doesn't matter. Look at the X-Files. Especially the first seasons, but don't even get me started on the special effects.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad. And I didn't grow up with the X-Files. I just started watching recently, so for me it's like, what is this?
Some shows you got to push past the special
it's
effects.
The story that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's enough for today.
Alrighty.
So
that was like a super fast episode.
It seems super fast, but
we're good.
We hit our time roughly.
Yeah,
so,
sure,
see you in the future.
Or in the past.
Bye bye.
Coming.
Yes, comrade. I am secretly a Russian agent.
How are you? You wouldn't tell me if you actually were. I'm a Russian agent.